Alright, so yesterday we read Shoes from Grandpa, but we didn't really talk about it much. So, today we're going to read, and while we're reading, we're going to discuss some of the things that are going on in the story. Alright, so, let's get started.
Let's read Shoes from Grandpa by Mem Fox, illustrated by Patricia Mullins.
Late one summer, Jesse's father invited all the family over for a barbecue. When Grandpa saw Jesse, he stood back and said, "My, how you've grown! You'll need a new pair of shoes this winter, and I'll buy them."
Alright, let's pause right there. Alright, so, why did Grandpa say he'd buy Jesse new shoes? Why did he say that? Well, if you said because Grandpa saw how much Jesse had grown, you're right. Jessie had grown up. She'd gotten taller and bigger, and she was growing out of her clothes. So Grandpa thought it would be nice to buy her a new pair of shoes. Alright, let's keep rolling.
"Thanks a lot, Grandpa," said Jessie. Then her dad said, "I'll buy you some socks from the local shops to go with the shoes from Grandpa." And her mom said, "I'll buy you a skirt that won't show the dirt to go with the socks from the local shops to go with the shoes from Grandpa."
Alright, so let's stop here. Do you think it is winter already? Or do you think that Jessie is imagining what her family's gifts might look like? Who knows? Do you think it's winter already, or do you think she's just imagining what her parents or what her family is going to buy her? There's really no right or wrong answer. I kind of think that it's probably fall and it's starting to get cold, so they're starting to do their back to school shopping or stuff like that, and just making sure that everyone has clothes that are the right size for them, and everybody wants to get Jessie something nice. Also, I want to talk. How does the beginning of each sentence begin? Let's go back to this page. Alright, here's the beginning of a sentence. How does it begin? Right, it begins with a capital letter. That W in when is capital because it is the beginning of a sentence. It tells us, I'm the beginning of a sentence. Alright? So it says, when Grandpa saw Jessie, he stood back and said, "My, how you've grown." Now there is an exclamation point. That means end of sentence. Okay? Here's the beginning of the next sentence. And look at that. The Y in Yule is capital. Okay? Every time there's a new sentence, you start with a capital letter. Alright? So let's keep going from where we were. Okay?
And her cousin said, "I'll look for a blouse with ribbons and bows to go with the skirt that won't show the dirt, to go with the socks from the local shops, to go with the shoes from Grandpa." And her sister said, I'll get you a sweater when the weather gets wetter, to go with the blouse with ribbons and bows, to go with the skirt that won't show the dirt, to go with the socks from the local shops, to go with the shoes from Grandpa.
All right, let's stop here. Now, good readers use clues to make decisions about the story. Use story clues and pictures clues to tell me who the girl is standing there with Jessie. Who is that standing right here with Jessie right now? Well, if you said her sister, I would say you're correct. Do you know why I would say you're correct? Well, some of you said it, some of you didn't. You are correct. It's because it says, and her sister said, I'll get you a sweater. Then, when the weather gets wetter. Okay? So this is her sister. So the person that's talking is always on the page with Jessie. Okay? Let's go.
And her grandma said, I'll find you a coat you could wear on a boat, to go with the sweater when the weather gets wetter, to go with the blouse with ribbons and bows, to go with the skirt that won't show the dirt, to go with the socks from the local shops, to go with the shoes from Grandpa. And her aunt said, I'll knit you a scarf that'll make us all laugh, to go with the coat you could wear on a boat, to go with the sweater when the weather gets wetter, to go with the blouse with ribbons and bows.
Okay, let's pause right here. Now, there we go. After we read this page, all right. So, actually, I'll tell you what. After we read this page, After we read this page, sorry, I'm all screwed up. After we read this page, what do you think? What did you think was going to happen next? Did you think it was going to be the end of the story, or did you think that someone else was going to get Jessie something? Yeah, I kind of thought somebody else was going to get Jessie something, because I thought this story would be a little short if they ended it right now. Okay? And because there's been a pattern. After somebody got Jessie something, somebody else volunteered to get Jessie something. Alright? So then we saw on the next page that Baboom, his aunt, or her aunt, said that she would knit him a crazy scarf that would make everyone laugh. And she did. Alright. Now, do you agree with Jessie's aunt? Is she making a scarf that will make people laugh? Do you think people are going to laugh when they see the scarf? I don't know. I mean, I think it kind of depends on the person. I mean, if you look, all the colors are kind of mismatched and different, but you know, I've seen scarves like that today, so I don't think I would laugh when I saw it. Maybe the family, Jessie's family, would laugh when they saw it because they knew that it was supposed to be a mix-match crazy scarf for Jessie. So I don't know. It's different. Let's keep reading.
To go with the skirt that won't show the dirt, to go with the socks from the local shops, to go with the shoes from Grandpa. And her brother said, I'll find you a hat you can put on like that. To go with the scarf that'll make us all laugh. To go with the coat you could wear on a boat. To go with the sweater when the weather gets wetter. To go with the blouse with ribbons and bows. To go with the skirt that won't show the dirt. To go with the socks from the local shops. To go with the shoes from Grandpa.
All right, let's pause here for a second, okay? Now, use story and picture clues to tell me about Jesse's brother. What does Jesse's brother like to do? Take a look here at this big box. What does he like to do? I see some fake teeth, some glasses with a nose attached, feathers, and all kind. And here's a heel like your mom might wear. So what does her brother like to do? Yeah, he likes to play dress up. He likes to get dressed up and act like he's maybe Superman right here. He's acting like. Maybe he'll wear his cape and be a magician also. It's pretty crazy. He might do all kinds of stuff. But he seems like he likes to play dress up. Okay? Now, do you think it would be fun to have Jesse's brother as a friend? Do you think you would get along with him? Well, I think I would. I think I would get along really well with him because I like to pretend. And I always thought that it was fun to get dressed up and pretend I was someone that I wasn't. And go on adventures in the jungle and find amazing treasures as a pirate or something like that. So it was pretty fun to play dress up when I was young. Okay, let's keep going.
And her uncle said, I'll buy you some mittens that are softer than kittens. To go with the hat you can put on like that. To go with the scarf that'll make us all laugh.
All right, now on this page there were a bunch of words that rhyme. All right, I'm going to read and I'm going to see if you can find them. And her uncle said, I'll buy you some mittens that are softer than kittens. Right there, mittens and kittens rhyme. You can see they end in E-N-S. E-N-S. Kittens, mittens. Alright, but that's not the only set. There's more that rhyme. Alright, to go with the hat that you put on like that. There's another set. Hat and that. They both end in A-T. A-T. Hat, that. They have the at sound at the end. Alright? To go with the scarf that'll make us all laugh. So there were two sets of rhyming words in there. Alright, let's keep going.
To go with the coat you could wear on a boat. To go with the sweater when the weather gets wetter. To go with the blouse with ribbons and bows. To go with the skirt that won't show the dirt. To go with the socks from the local shops. To go with the shoes from Grandpa.
Alright, let's pause here again. Now, there were more rhyming words on this page. Okay, let's find them. Ready? To go with the coat you could wear on a boat. Oh, these two words rhyme. Coat and boat, because they both end in O-A-T. O-A-T. Coat, boat. They all have that oat sound at the end. Let's keep going. To go with the sweater when the weather gets wetter. Did you hear that? Sweater and wetter. They rhyme because they end in that sound, or ter. They have that ter sound. We go with the sweater when the weather gets wetter. Sweater, wetter. They sound similar. They have the same ending. let's keep going. There's more. To go with the blouse with ribbons and bows. To go with the skirt that won't show the dirt. There you go. There's two more rhyming words. Skirt and dirt. They end in IRT. Skirt, dirt. Skirt and dirt. Right? To go with the socks from the local shops. There's another set. Oh my gosh. Socks. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's not another set. Oop. Sorry. They sound the same, but they're not. They're not rhyming words. To go with the shoes from Grandpa. All right. Let's keep listening and reading on.
And Jessie said, "You're all so kind that I hate to be mean. But please, would one of you buy me some jeans?"
And that's the end of our story. Now, you did a great job answering the questions that I had, and it makes me even more confident that you're going to be able to do this worksheet that we have to do. So, it's practice book page 115. Now, the 115 is cut off on the bottom, but you will be able to get it because it's right down underneath of this video. Alright? So, the first thing you need to do is print this off and write your name at the top. Very important. Then, first thing you need to do is color the things that Jessie's family might get her if she gets the jeans she asked for at the end of the story. So what other things might Jessie need if she needs jeans? I don't know what she might need if she gets jeans, alright? And then, in this box, I want you to draw some kind of clothing you might wish for your birthday present as a birthday gift. So draw a picture of something you might want to get for your birthday and color the things that might go along with Jessie's pants. Alright? So go ahead, pause the video, and complete practice book page 115. Oh, I got out of my thing. Hang on a second. Let me get in my slideshow. Alright, so welcome back from completing your practice book page 115. I can't wait to see what you drew as what you might like to get as a birthday present. Alright? Now, this information for the rest of the video is for part 2 of day 3. Alright? So, we've got a story that we need to read, or you need to read to me. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to preview it. Okay, so we're going to take a look or do a little picture walk. Alright, so here is a family of bears. Alright, it's called Baby Bear's Family. Alright, and it used to have words, but we took the words away. Okay, so let's take a look at this book. So, here we are. Here's the first picture. So get a good idea of what might be going on in this picture. I know I have an idea. Alright. Here, what they might be doing out here. Take a look at what each bear is doing. Okay. Here, up. What are they doing here? Not quite sure. Take a look on this page. What's this bear doing here? You'll have to tell me. Here looks like they're, well, you're gonna have to tell me what they're doing and what they're doing with this bear and then what they're doing here. Okay, use lots of details and tell me what's going on in this story. Okay, so you're gonna have to do that for part 2. Alright, after you've done that, submit the recording, and you can have a great day. All right? Do your best work. Tell me a great story with lots and lots of details about what the Bears are doing. All right? So good job.